All right, question of the year. Bang Unicorn or the new Froze Rose? I'm still an OG Unicorn. I really like the Unicorn. However, the Froze Rose is growing on me for sure. Definitely, this is Kennedy's new favorite. I definitely like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's try it here. Yep, it's pretty good. It's got a real fruity flavor. It's kind of like a grape aftertaste. It's pretty good. It's not better than Unicorn. It's not better than Unicorn. So, I messed up. I don't have any mailing tubes, so I had to order some mailing tubes. So if you guys want a poster on the live chat from last week, unfortunately, they're probably not gonna go out till like this Saturday or the following Monday. So I really effed that one up. I apologize. But we got some stuff to do today on the turbo kit for the Mustang. Still waiting on the hot parts kit. It's ordered. I've talked about it. It's ordered. It's ready to go whenever they finish it. Once that gets shipped, I need to get all this little stuff. So I ordered some fittings the other day. I need to order like an oil return line, oil feed line, but I ordered the fittings for them. I just need to order some AN line. I need to go measure for the intercooler, which is what I'm going to do today, because no one sells a Mustang GT specific intercooler. Everyone only sells it with their specific kit. So with us piecing our own kit together, I've got to source my own intercooler. I'm definitely going to go air to air now, I have decided. So we're going to measure for that today. So we're going to pop the bumper off. And then I also got some LED bulbs from LasFit. Where are they at? Here they are. These are for the Mustang on the interior. So we're going to test these out today. Supposedly some really nice LED bulbs for the interior. Yeah, so it should be nice and bright in there. This truck already has LED interior bulbs, which is really nice, and they have a nice white color to them. So we're gonna install these in the Mustang today, test those out. So let's finish this bang and we'll get over to the house. Ooh, little C7 Stingray action going on. All right, so you guys will be seeing this video on Tuesday. So remember, on Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do my live chat, and I do it once a week. Kevin does them all the time randomly, but I do mine once a week, and I try and keep it consistent. That way you guys have a chance to schedule whatever you're doing so you can jump on it. Anyways, tomorrow's live chat, we are giving away a pre-production Contagion Athletics snapback hat. I think it's got the mesh on the back. But it says Contagion Athletics in cursive on the front. Anyways, it's a hat that we didn't actually put into production. It was just a test print. So we are giving that hat away tomorrow on the live chat. So make sure you jump on 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's continue the video. Oh, would you look at that? I have to put gas in my truck again. What a concept. Check this out. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? What is this nonsense? All right, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna talk about this or not on the video, but this is going to end up becoming the video title because people want to know. This 2019 Ram 1500 gets horrible gas mileage. Now, a few things to consider. Before the lift in tires, and it's not a big lift, we'll go over that in just a second, but before the lift in tires, I was still barely getting 17 miles a gallon. For the longest time, I was only getting 15 and a half, and then I think it hit about 5,000 miles. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 miles, and it started slowly bumping up, and people said that. They said for the first couple thousand miles, it does get shitty gas mileage, and then it will get better. So I think I finally got real close to 17. I could never get over like 17.2, I think. I never got 17.5, 17.8, but I do have a few things to consider. I do have the 392 gears, so definitely have probably the worst gear ratio that I could have for gas mileage, but this one does tow the max towing capacity for the Ram 1500, except I don't have the class 4 hitch, I think it is. So it's the highest you can get. It tows like 11,300 or 400, I think, but it doesn't quite tow the 12,000 that you get when you get like the 2-wheel drive and the class 4 hitch or whatever it is. Anyways, but I have the highest gear ratio that you can get for towing with the 2019 Ram 1500. So that's to consider when I was getting the shitty gas mileage already. Now on top of that, I did put a 2.5-inch front spacer on the truck, which affects it slightly because it does ruin the aerodynamics. The trucks have a rake to them. I wouldn't say that's a huge effect on it, but it does have an effect on it. And then the ultimate culprit being that I just upgraded the tires to 285s. So they are now a 285 60 20, obviously, because I have the stock wheels, and they're a pretty aggressive tire. They're still an all-terrain, but they are kind of more on the aggressive side, and I'll show you guys when we get outside the truck at the gas station. But yeah, this thing is getting 11.9 miles per gallon. So you could say I'm getting 12 miles a gallon, and this has been going on for probably, I'd say, a week or two. I reset it after I got the tires a couple weeks ago, and this is kind of the average. Now, also to consider, I don't drive on the highway very much, if any at all, actually. This is all street driving. So, because the way my work is, the best way to get there is streets. Taking the highway is kind of like the roundabout way, and it's actually more miles. So I take all streets. Now, if I'm getting about 12 on the streets, you could say that probably on the highway, I could get upwards of 15 miles per gallon, which is still really shitty. But this is a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. It's not a F-150 with, you know, a little V6 with twin turbos that gets good gas mileage. Now, I'm not talking bad on the F-150s because I've actually owned 2 EcoBoosts. I owned a 16 and an 18, and I absolutely love those trucks. And they don't get as good a gas mileage as they post about either, but they do definitely get better gas mileage. But you drive a V6 and it sounds like a GoPed when you're riding it around or driving it around. Anyway, that was my only complaint about the truck. But anyways, they do get better gas mileage. Even when mine was lifted, it was still getting, I think it was 15 to 16, and it had the same exact deal that this truck has. Had a 2.5-inch front spacer, but it did have bigger tires. I actually had 315s on it because you can fit bigger tires on the F-150 due to the body style and the way the suspension's set up. But yeah, this thing has got shitty gas mileage. So if you guys have a 2019 Ram 1500, you should definitely comment below, but just keep in mind that I do have the 392 gear ratio, so that has a large effect on the gas mileage already, plus the fact that I have bigger tires and I do have the 2.5-inch front leveling spacer. I'm trying to find a parking spot here at the gas station because this is like my second home. But if you guys haven't seen the truck, I'll show you the outside here in just a second, but let's fill up with some gas. So here are the 285s with the 2.5-inch front spacer. It does rub. I had to pull this little plastic piece off because they were rubbing. The only reason why is because I added a 1.5-inch wheel spacer. But it's real dirty right now. All right, let's reset this monkey. Okay, we're gonna reset it. Just so you guys know I ain't playing around. This thing does get shitty gas mileage. But it is a truck, and you don't buy trucks for gas mileage, but for those people that use them as daily drivers, there is some people that are worried about the gas mileage because they may drive far to work, or it's their only vehicle, so they want to drive a truck, but they want something with decent gas mileage. Now, I've had lifted trucks get even worse gas mileage before, so definitely the half tons have come a long way, but they're still in the crappy gas mileage category for sure. So it's slowly rising. And if you don't know, you can add this little light there, the eco mode light. You can add that under your settings in the apps on your screen there. So I had not actually planned to have the video become about the gas mileage of my 2019 Ram 1500, but it's kind of driving me nuts, and I thought about making a video about it before, and I was like, well, if people want to know, because, you know, a lot of people are buying these right now because it's the new hot truck, you know, it's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, everyone wants to buy them, so I figure if someone wants to know, here you go, some real world experience. I have 7,000 miles on the truck. It's about to get some maintenance done here soon because it's got a couple recalls on some safety equipment, and it needs to go in for an oil change. I need to get an alignment and make sure the tires are balanced, make sure everything's good before I drive it to Houston. And I've already driven it to Houston once, but not with the lift and tires. So, and I actually had a trailer when we drove to Houston. So this time I'm not taking a trailer to Houston, but it is lifted with the tires. So actually it'll be a good test of the vehicle going down to Houston with just the vehicle on the tires and lift, and then we can see what some gas mileage is on the highway. But if I had to make a guess, I would assume it's somewhere in like the 15 mile per gallon, going like 75 to 80 the whole way to Houston. So, but yeah, I didn't want to make the video about this, but figured people wanted to know. And like I said, before the lifting tires, I was getting 17, if not really close to 17, and I do have the 392 gear ratio, which I've said it 3 times in this video, but that makes the biggest difference because there's so many gear ratio options with these trucks, and it didn't make me realize that's what was messing with the gas mileage until other people were telling me the gas mileage they were getting, and then I asked them what gear ratio they had, and they had the other gear ratios. So that's what it is. We are back at the house, so we got to measure for an intercooler for the Mustang. All right, since I didn't give the best walk around of the truck, still got the chrome grille, chrome bumpers. I need to black those out, but pretty much everything else is blacked out already. But if you guys want to see, the truck is very dirty right now, but that's what it looks like if you haven't seen it before. What is this hunk of junk doing in here? Ooh, some E85. Man, it's been a while since I've been in this garage. You know what's funny? When I had the Hellcat, I was in here day in, day out. I was doing videos at night working on the car. I guess I left the door open in the Mustang. Whoops. I don't know why. Oh, I remember why. I guess I left the door open in the Mustang this whole time. Probably rats in there or something. So yeah, like I said, what's funny is when I had the Hellcat, I was working on the Hellcat. Hold on, gotta prop up this hood. As cheap asses at Ford gave us a hood prop for some reason. Yeah, when I had the Hellcat, I was doing videos. I was working on my car at lunch, and then I'd film stuff at night, because I was literally always working on that car, especially to get it ready towards the end. I guess I never turned the light on in here, sick. Especially towards the end, like when I was doing the front 15-inch conversion and I took the exhaust off, and then, what was I doing? I don't even remember. There was so much going on at one time. And then when I turned the Hellcat back to stock, I was really in here every day working on getting everything off my car, putting it on Rigo's car. I mean, it was a mess in here. I mean, it's still kind of a mess, but it was a mess in here. There's fluids everywhere, parts everywhere. And now there's just dead bodies from the crowds we'd be hitting with this thing, you know what I'm saying? So, luckily, if you guys didn't see, we put these little snaps on the bumper. So today, when we take the bumper off, all we've got to do is get underneath, pop a couple clips off, take the underpan belly off, unclip these, unclip this top piece, just a couple bolts underneath, and then the front bumper will come off. And because I need to measure how big of a front mount we can fit in here with being able to route some 3-inch piping. Alright, so the bumper is ready to come off. Got some bolts up top, some clips underneath, and there's usually 2 bolts right here, but I got the little push clips, so that's gonna come right off. But huge shout out to Kennedy. That's how awesome she is. She got me these little organizers for my birthday, and I haven't found a use for them because I haven't been really working on the cars. And now, let me make sure I won't lose anything. So that's everything for the bumper. Let's set that aside for now, and we can finally pull off the bumper. All right, I have to say this. Always use jack stands, people. I don't want someone's car landing on their face. Anyways, let's pull the bumper off. Sorry, I had to say that. All right, easy as that. Bumper is off. Like I said, we're gonna be pulling the bumper so much this year. I'm really excited that we have these push clips. Anyways, bumper's off, super simple. So, what we need to do is kind of figure out how big of an intercooler we can fit in here. And then the problem is, where's the piping gonna run? So, I'm gonna measure because it's gonna sit, we may have to pull the bumper support off, but essentially it's gonna try and sit behind the bumper support, and it's gotta sit in between the frame rails. So it's kind of hard to see, but you see a frame rail there, and then the other frame rail's under the intake right there. Anyways, we've got to measure that distance, and then the question is where the inlet and outlet come out. It's kind of hard to tell from just the picture because they don't give you that specific of dimensions. So, and then from there, like I said, trying to figure out how to run the actual intercooler piping. Most people are doing it up through here. So you've just got to remove this little plastic fin duct thing piece of shit out of the way. And there's a pretty good size hole there. Some people have ran it through the bottom. Like I said, you can run it either way. There's just different things that get in the way. You obviously can't go around the back here and come back because you'd have to remove the washer fluid tank. But if you didn't have the washer fluid tank right there, that would honestly leave you a ton of room, because if you had the intercooler come right here, pipe could come here, boom, right through that big hole right there. But got the washer fluid tank there, so it may be an option. You know, we may have to remove the washer fluid tank and move it somewhere else. You know, you can mount these pretty much anywhere. You can even get a smaller one and mount it somewhere else, somewhere more discreet. I mean, it's pretty discreet down here, but somewhere else where it's out of the frickin' way. Anyways, the other side, if you guys don't know, I haven't showed the turbo kit yet because it's being made. Well, the hot parts are being made. We're making the cold side. The turbo is going to sit right about here on the driver's side of the engine. So the other cold pipe has to come somewhere right here, which the intake and this little inlet for the filter is going to be out of the way. Then we'll have this big hole, and so I think we'll have plenty of room over here. So I'm not too worried about that. But like I said, this is the problem when doing your own kit, is you've got to do all this pre-production work. And even then, when the intercooler comes in, when the hot parts come in and we get everything mounted up, we will run into issues. There's no doubt about that. So it's definitely going to be an experiment. All right, so I ended up removing these little plastic fins. They actually are functional, actually. They have a little plug over there that tells them when to open and close. However, I don't know when they actually open and close, so if one of you guys knows, you can comment down below. I don't really care, it's getting removed. So this frees up some space here. This thicker harness right back here, can't really see it, you can see it from here. This thicker harness can actually be unclipped and then clipped up top here. Someone told me that on Facebook, actually Austin from STM Tuned, he actually told me that. So that harness can be moved up there, and that gives you a little bit more room here. So pretty much we're gonna measure from inside the frame rail to frame rail, and then I'll measure how far the intercooler is gonna stick out, and that's gonna determine if we're gonna have to actually delete the front bumper support. And then based off the picture, I kind of need to see, like I said, where the inlet and outlet are, but we're gonna kind of have to work with what we got unless we want to get a custom intercooler made. All right, so the intercooler is 26.5 inches long. So we've got plenty of room for it to sit inside the rails. It's 15 inches tall, and there we also have plenty of room. And then it's 3.5 inches thick. So we've got plenty of room. And now I just think the biggest thing will be where the actual inlet and outlet come out, if it'll be able to be above the frame rails or underneath. And if it's, I don't know, I guess if it's too short, we can move the intercooler up or down, however we need to. So I think that intercooler will work. I think it's just gonna depend on where the inlet and outlet are, but we kind of know that that one will fit in the space, so I know what to look for. However, I'm just gonna go ahead and order that intercooler, and if it doesn't fit, we'll just return that one and either get a custom one or try and find a different one that works with our measurements. But that one will actually fit in the space. Like I said, it's just gonna depend on the inlet and outlet. And a lot of that's also going to depend on when the hot parts come in so we can match everything up. So I'm gonna go ahead and order that intercooler, and that's gonna do it for that portion. So we'll definitely have to trim off probably some of this backside stuff for it to fit. The front bumper support might have to come off also, and we're definitely gonna have to move that harness up, which is not a big deal. And this piece will definitely no longer be there, so hopefully that doesn't throw a check engine light. If it does, we'll have to talk to London and have them kick that out. Anyways, now we're gonna throw these LED lights on the inside. All right, so let's see what these little map lights look like before. So nice, ugly, beautiful yellow. So we're gonna swap these out. You literally just pull down right here in the middle, and all right, you gotta get just a little aggressive with it, but now we can just pull the bulbs out right here, and we'll swap those out. So these are them from LasFit, or however you say it. So we're just gonna pop these in and then see what they look like. Look how bright it is in there just from outside the door. Look at that. Those are awesome. Dang. That actually looks really good. Okay, I'm pretty impressed. Sometimes I'm a little skeptical when these companies want to send you free stuff, especially with how small my channel is. I'm like, okay, how did I come across your business when my channel's small? They could easily be sending this stuff to bigger YouTube channels, but those are really impressive, damn. And they're really inexpensive. So I'm gonna put a link down below. This is the company right here. I've got some links down below in the description. Make sure you guys click on them. They're really inexpensive and they work awesome. Now, here's the thing for people that like to film, such as myself, is when the car is lit like that, and it's got that nice cool blue tone instead of that yellow, really shitty halogen bulb in there. When you're filming, it looks a lot better, especially cinematic stuff. So you can get some really cool cinematic shots. I've had to use like LEDs before to light up interiors to make cool cinematic shots, but with these, I've done it in a car that had them before and it makes it so much nicer. So if you guys want these, there will be a description down below. Believe this. Ready? Ow! Oh, just kidding, because the door, or the key's not in. So we'll shut the door. And then we'll open the door. One more time. Pow! So I'm actually really impressed with those, honestly. Those look amazing. So we've got the measurements for the intercooler. My Ram 1500 gets shitty gas mileage. We've got new LED bulbs in the car. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you always comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at VanV39. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the live chat.